postgraduate student or an average student abroad will earn more than a professor in Nigeria. And I saw a lot of comments, right? And I'm sure you must have seen something, right? So I want you to just talk to us about that.
Yeah, so about the post, it was like, okay, I
Yeah.
was just right.
So welcome to today's episode of The Abroad Life, where we bring you insightful conversations with experts shaping the world. I mean, experts from Africa, spread all over the world and shaping the world. So our guest today is Dr. Yusuf Alimi. He's a multidisciplinary expert in veterinary sciences, reproductive biology, and global public health. He has a PhD in reproductive sciences. That's correct, right?
Yes.
From the University of Manchester, and his research explores how maternal nutrition impacts offspring cognition using animal models. I think that's correct, right? I got that right.
Perfect.
So,
Perfect.
yeah,
Yeah, you
I'm
did your
beyond
research.
academia. He's a passionate educator. I've seen a lot of his content on LinkedIn. He's a consultant and advocate for bridging research with real-world applications. So join us as we dive into his fascinating journey and impactful work. Yeah. So can you just, I've done the introduction, but just tell us a little bit more about yourself and your journey.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you, Yemi. It's a big privilege to be here with you. It's evening here in
Yeah.
Manchester, so
Yeah.
I guess you'll be in the mornings.
So the
Yeah,
morning.
so it's a big privilege to be here. Just like you said, you've dotted all the T's and crossed all the I's. My background is veterinary medicine, and I'm now into life sciences research. And before then, I taught in a university in Nigeria, and that's where the passion for career development and mentorship, that's where it came from. Because when I was teaching, I wanted to be the kind of teacher that I wish I had, the kind of lecturer that I wish I had. That does not mean I didn't have lecturers that really impacted me, but I'm just saying, like, I felt like going through school in uni in Nigeria, I felt like there was more that we could have gotten personally. And so I set out to be a lecturer where I could try to make as much of a difference to my students to shape their journey, because beyond university, that was my own focus. Like, when you leave out of the university, when you leave this classroom, this uni, what's next for you out there? So that was my motivation as a lecturer, and that's why I decided. And since coming to the UK to do my PhD, I've also continued that. It's mostly advocacy through the internet, using LinkedIn, using Facebook, and then also one-on-one, doing a lot of one-on-one with people, especially people back home that are trying to come here. And then a few people that have been here in recent time, because, there's been a jackpot wave since COVID. So there's been a lot of jackpot wave. People are here now and they don't know what to do. How do we move forward together collectively? That has been the focus for the last 3 to 4 years.
Interesting. Thank you, Dr. Yusuf. You've really laid a very solid background. You've started to even touch on some of the questions that we might want to ask. So maybe we'll just go straight into it. I was going to ask you about what your journey was like. Like, how was your journey coming to the UK and starting? But you already spoke about scholarship, like coming for your postgrad. What are the challenges that you faced? What are the hurdles that you're able to scale? How did those challenges come to you, and how were you able to scale those hurdles so that people out there can also benefit?
Okay, so the first thing is, I think if you are in Nigeria as a young person, you're looking to come abroad with scholarship or studying abroad, the first question you'll be asking yourself is that, first of all, are there opportunities? And that answer is obvious to everybody that is asking now, because you can see people are coming here on scholarship. So if there were no available scholarships, there won't be people coming here on scholarship. So that answer is yes, there are available opportunities. Now, can it happen for you? Because it happened for somebody doesn't mean it can happen for you. The truth also is, definitely, the people that it is happening for, they don't have two heads. So if they don't have two heads, if it's one person can get a scholarship, that means you can also get a scholarship. Yeah. So those were the two questions I asked myself. Was that okay? Because for me, luckily, I've always been aware of scholarships. I've had some people that I look up to that have already told me that, okay, from school, the first thing is try to get the best grade you can get possible. Yeah, that grade could be, if possible, a first class, but not all of us, I don't have a first class. So that's the first thing. I don't have a first class.
Even
So
challenging as a vet,
yes,
right? Like,
yes. I read veterinary medicine.
right.
It's an unclassified degree, but beyond that, my
Mhm.
CGPA is not a first class CGPA.
Uh-huh.
Because even if they don't classify your degree, you know your score. I graduated with
Yeah.
a 3.82. So out of 5 points. It's a good 2-1.
Yeah, that's a strong 2-1.
Yeah, it's a strong 2-1 as far as 2-1 go. But I'm not saying this. I know people that have 2-2 that have gotten scholarships to study abroad.
Yeah.
So it's beyond your 2-1 or your 2-2 or your first class. It's just about, okay, get the best grades you can get, because the higher your grade, the higher your chances of studying abroad on a scholarship. But beyond the grade, now there's a lot more that comes into after getting a good grade. Now you need to sell yourself. Now there are a lot of opportunities, but you need to find which one is appropriate for you, which one aligns with your kind of person. Are they looking for a first class student? If that scholarship is looking for a first class student and you have a 2-1, or automatically you know that you should not be applying for that particular scholarship. So for me, I looked at the scholarships that had first class and I removed my eyes because they were not looking for
And
me.
like, this is not for you.
So jump and pass. When I jumped and passed, then I looked at opportunities that are open to people with my grade. And then I started exploring those ones. So that's, you look at those kind of scholarships, then first, the next thing is you start looking, where can I find information about scholarships online? There are lots of places. There are websites that aggregate opportunities. If I start naming, they're too much, but opportunity decks and opportunities for Africa, scholars for the different websites. If you Google, you find. That's one. Number two, university websites. There are lots of opportunities on university websites in different parts of the world. In America, in the UK, in Canada, in Australia, New Zealand, and even across a lot of Southeast Asian countries, depending on where you want to go. If you visit the university websites, you will likely find opportunities on their website. In fact, there are a lot of hidden opportunities in university web pages that people never even try to think about. Every year, a lot of opportunities are advertised, and there are some that don't even get people because people are not, most of us tend to apply for some specific scholarships that are very popular. Commonwealth scholarships, Chevening, Erasmus Mundus of EU Erasmus Mundus scholarships, a lot of them. And I've noticed, if not of recent, that people are beginning to look at North America. Most people tend to be scared of even applying to American universities. But a lot of funding, there are lots of funding in American universities. In fact, far more funding in American universities than anywhere in the world. America is like the richest, they have the richest universities. So they have the richest funding. UK university, they want your money. They want your money. So you are likely to get funding in America than to get funding in Britain. But at the same time, the idea is to look around on hidden places, web pages where people are not even looking at. Then when you look at those opportunities, after finding the opportunities, then the next thing is actually to apply. A lot of people have what I call scholarship applicophobia. It's a phobia for even applying for scholarship because you
Then it's
think,
going to the dictionary.
it's a fear of applying for scholarships because we think, first of all, everybody's scared of failure.
Self-doubt also. Yeah.
I'm scared of failure. Most of us are scared of failure. You don't want to try because you feel if you try, you will likely fail.
Yep. I'm
And
not enough.
because you think you will fail, you will not even take the step.
Yeah.
But what if you dare the consequences, take the step, and what's the worst that can happen? It's a no.
Say no.
But that
Yeah.
will not be that's not the end of the world. So recently, I came across an Excel sheet someone was sharing on LinkedIn. He called it the 100 rejections template. It's an Excel sheet, 100 rejections template. So you just have a template, like an Excel sheet, where you are ready to say, okay, I've seen this scholarship. What's the name? It's Commonwealth Scholarship. Type name, Commonwealth Scholarship. Date, when does it open? When does it close? The application period. Get the link, put it there. Have you applied? Yes or no? What you applied? What was the outcome? No or yes? So the idea is you want to apply for up to 100 scholarships. Just like even if you use that template for a job, it's still going to work.
Yeah.
You want to apply for as many scholarships as possible. If you have not reached 100, you don't even stop. And you are not thinking that maybe if you apply for this opportunity, you are going to whether you're not thinking whether they will say yes or no. It's not your business. The outcome is not your business. Your own business is to make the effort.
Like still
So,
widen.
yes.
Yeah.
So because this money is not yours, it's free money. And since it's free money, why don't you just try your best to see how you can get this and keep. So you asked me a general question, but I don't know.
I like that.
Yeah, you said a
So
lot of beautiful things like in this conversation. Like number one, the degree, your class of degree upon graduation, 2-1, 2-2, first class. Like in these climes, I don't think they really matter because they review your application beyond just your transcript, what happened. They know you are a real human being. Things happen in life, and you just need to show that you have the requisite skills or whatever requirement they're asking. And one thing is that you said something about it's free money. Well, for us, I mean, you can say it's free money, right? But since I graduated from my business school, I've been receiving emails like every week to come and donate.
To give back.
You know, thank you.
yes,
So you pay back at some point.
Yeah.
you pay. Yes,
In
yes.
the
Yeah.
future, so you start
You need
contributing
to
back.
pave way for some other folks to come
Somebody,
in.
yeah, you have to like give back at some point. So yeah, that's the way it is. But when you are getting it, it's free money. But then you have to also give back because other people need to benefit later on. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of things you've covered in the discussion that we were going to ask. But Yemi, I'll let you.
Thanks, Dr. Yusuf. Just as we were speaking, I was just thinking, like, I just observed a gap, right, in people, and you were spot on about it. That application phobia, right? How did you put it, right?
Scholarship
Need to write it
applicaphobia.
down.
Like people just feel like, see, I'm not enough, right? And I think that mentorship and this kind of platforms can bridge that gap, right? Where you really reinforce people's confidence and all of that. Do you do like a mentorship program? Like, do you do anything around that to just help people? Like, hey, you have the requirement, try. You don't have anything to do. This is my story, and this is what you should do. Yeah.
Yes, I've run a couple of mentorship programs. But in the last few years, I've been in the middle of my PhD. So at a point, I had to slow everything down. But I've run a couple of mentorship programs. So, but now I just have some mentees that I'm working with personally, but not like within a program. But I'm setting up very soon. I'm sure before in the next 2-3 months, I would have a program that is now like official. I would advertise it on my LinkedIn.
Okay.
But I've been sharing. I just use my platform on LinkedIn to share, and then I've run a couple of. I called it Pathways to Global Scholarships. Yeah, in 2021, 2022, I did like 2 cohorts like that. But since then, I have not I've not run that program, but I recognize the need for mentorship, and I also must acknowledge that there are a lot of people running similar type of programs on the internet that I'm seeing, and it's making a lot of impact. Yeah.
Awesome, great. I will just put like two questions together, and I allow Ahmed to come because of our time. I know sometimes, I mean, young people, dreamers in Africa look at it and like, if I go abroad, I go to UK or US, like maybe to do a master's program or something, like, what is my next? What do I do next? Right after that, like, do I have a secure future? And I think that is a thin line. Like the point people need to take that decision, like leave what you are currently doing. There is a greener pasture ahead of you. Like, what does that path looks like? Right? Like, okay, you get a scholarship, you maybe went into a program. What am I going to do after that? And I will quickly link that to your one of your posts that I said was controversial. You were like, postgraduate student or an average student abroad will earn more than a professor in Nigeria. And I saw a lot of comments, right? And I'm sure you must have seen something, right? So I want you to just talk to us about that.
Yeah, so about the post, it was like, okay, I was just writing to try and catch people's attention so they will engage with the post. So the caption was not meant to deride any of our Nigerian professors. Our Nigerian professors have done a wonderful job, and we appreciate them. So, but a lot of people took issues with that. But me, I was just smiling, looking at the engagement. The post was kept on bringing up engagement. People engaged with the post, and so on that, it was a positive. But having said that, the fact that there are a lot of unsaid things in that post, which because I didn't focus on that because that was not my focus. And there's no scholarship that's going to pay you something that you come and live lavish on. No. The scholarship is for you to just come and survive while you're studying. So even though if you look at it comparatively, it's still true that the exchange rate of your scholarship stipend is likely to be higher than a lecturer or a professor's salary in Nigeria. But the cost of living in Nigeria is different, even though it's moving very fast now compared to living here. Having said that, still, I feel like as a young person, there are more opportunities here. It goes without saying. Yes, it might not look like it if you have to remove yourself. Maybe you have a job, you have a family, you are removing yourself to come here. But at the same time, just like it's a process of career building. And I think that for you to take the step to come here, it's better for you to have a long view of things, okay, be in it for the long run. Don't make that decision as a knee-jerk reaction. Let it not be that I just want to come abroad because I want to take selfies. I want to snap selfies in snow. I want to look good.
Like that.
So that selfie in snow ideology or I want to experience winter, is not going to work for you. Because the day you if you're here on a student visa, the day you come here, your time has started counting of what's going to happen after the student visa. First of all, taking a scholarship also, you have to be very careful because there are some scholarships that might tie you down. There are some scholarships that will say you must go back to your country. So you have to be careful on the kind of scholarship you are signing on. Then number two, you have to have a game plan for immediately from day one of hitting the campus. What are you going to be doing during the time of your studentship before you finish your studentship? Depending on your program, if it's a master's program, some master's programs include internships. Even PhD programs do include internships. Are you going to try and do an internship? How are you going to do your networking? So you need to have all that, because the honest truth is they also have job problems here. It's not as if, especially like in the UK right now, UK and EU, they have a lot of job issues right now. America is a bit more, what will I say? I think America is still
more
protected.
Yeah, you know,
yes, now.
More opportunities, but I mean, it's not really
not that easy.
Yeah.
Yes. And with the coming of Trump, And a lot of all these problems is bringing up, all these tariffs is slamming tariffs on Canada. Canada is applying the tariffs.
Yeah.
We don't know where this is going. So if you're coming abroad, you're coming into uncertainty. But the reality also is that, at least you're making a movement and you are investing in your future. So I would say that your game plan matters a lot. And it boils down to, first of all, taking advantage of all the advice you can get from people around you. Yeah, there are people, if you come to a new country, there are always people that have been there before you, that have more experience before you. If you study in the university, there are people that have been in that school before you, that graduated there, so you can network with those people, try to get as much as advice as you can get, and explore the resources available to you in the university in terms of career services, in terms of internship opportunities, in terms of alumni of that university and all that. In fact, just being in the room with some certain people can change your life. So you can attend events, attend conferences, attend just any type of event that you get to meet people, and don't be afraid to communicate and speak and try to interact with more and more people. If you expand your network, hopefully before you finish your program, you would have something next that you're doing, because it's very important. Depends on the country, but some countries have limit to your visa. If you finish and nothing is happening, maybe in UK now, if you come for a master's, you do a postgraduate visa for like 2 years. If that 2 years expires and you don't get anything, some people are beginning to go back home as we speak. Some people
I think
have
it's the
finished their
same
master.
here.
So all that planning is an ongoing thing that needs to continue. So coming abroad, like, it's no longer El Dorado as it used to be. people now coming here is no longer like you are going to have some manna from heaven. You pick dollars on the floor. No, you are here to plan. You are taking a new step in your career, and hopefully, we are hopeful and we are rooting for you that everything's going to be fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot challenging because I don't think sometimes people don't paint a true picture when people reach out to me now and they're asking about MBAs, scholarships, and I paint the entire picture. I'm not giving you any advice whether you should do it or not. I just tell you everything that I know. That's left for you to make that decision. I will tell you all the benefits, like the scholarship, the network, and everything. And I'll still tell you the challenges, like you are putting your life from maybe Nigeria or wherever it coming from, starting a new life afresh. Like you can't bring your car, you can't bring your house, you can't bring anything there. So you're starting everything from scratch here. And that part is very, very challenging. Like the food that you're used to, you're probably, I mean, it's still better in the UK, I heard. Like for some of us, they're like, I've not eaten some Nigerian food in like maybe 2 years. I've not even smelled like 2 years. So those challenges are there that you will not immediately think about until when you start maybe just scrolling through Instagram and you see the food and you're like, wow, I've not seen this in like 2 years. And yeah, thanks for sharing the perspective there, like really very insightful. Yemi, I have a question that I want to ask about
Right.
scholarship specifically, right? So when anyone is thinking about applying for scholarships, and there are usually things like writing maybe essays or statement of purpose and all of that. So aside that, what would you say are the key things, like maybe 2, 3 most important elements of scholarship applications that these things can make or mar your application?
Okay.
Interestingly, Dr. Yusuf is a technical writer. Like, if I can add that, I saw that on your profile. Like, you're into technical writing and all of that. So, yeah.
So the first thing is, I mentioned the first one is like, I mentioned it earlier, but I'll reiterate it again. It's actually the fit, the scholarship to scholar fit. The scholarship you're applying for, they're looking for a certain kind of person. So how well do you fit that criteria they're looking for?
Okay.
The profile. Because if you don't fit it, or there's a significant difference between you and what they're looking for, you're not going to get it. So I give an example of, if it's a merit-based scholarship, We have different type of scholarships. We've got merit-based. Those are the academic merit-based scholarships. They are looking for academically, and they will set the bar. So if first class or nothing. So if you're not a first class candidate, don't apply. Then there's also need-based scholarships that are looking for people they might not really care about. Most of the time, they care about your grades, but their focus is on whether you need that scholarship in terms of financially. So they will usually ask you to prove that you don't have the finances to do that course. That's the need-based scholarship. Then we also have maybe scholarships that are looking for leadership-oriented individuals. That's one, a lot of us have a fighting chance for that, because for you to have gotten to where you have gotten in life, you have probably done some level of leadership activities. You've probably volunteered. You have some work experience here and there. Maybe when you were in university, you participated in a number of things, activities that are leadership oriented. You can even be that you were a class rep in your school, or maybe you were an ESCO in your association in university and all that. That's also a good, so leadership oriented scholarships. So if you get your scholarships to scholar fit right, the next thing is, how do you sell yourself? How do you sell yourself? Before you even begin to think about your scholarship essays and all that, the next thing is, okay, what is my unique selling proposition, my USP? What am I selling? Because that will be the core of your message. And the best USP is like, okay, the best USP is this person you're looking for. I am that person. So the best USP is you are entering into the conversation that's going on in the head of the funding body, and you are plugging into that conversation because they already know who they want in their head. So you are not pitching them on something else. You are pitching them on what they already looking for. So you are pitching them that you are the person that they are looking for. It might sound a bit abstract now, but I'm still trying to break it down. So now, like a good USP could be, okay, I'm a scholar. Now they're looking for this is, let's say, the Commonwealth Scholarship. Commonwealth Scholarship, right now their focus is on sustainable development. So they have like 6 different areas of sustainable development that they are advertising every year. In the last 3-4 years, Commonwealth Scholarship always talk about. So if you are applying for Commonwealth Scholarship and you are not talking about SDGs, you are not ready. You are not ready. So whatever work you are doing, you need to begin to translate it from the lens of the sustainable development goals. So your USP in this context could be, if you are, okay, I'm a vet, I don't want to use veterinary medicine. Let's say you're a pharmacist and maybe you are working on how to get, some basic life-saving drugs to people that are hard to reach areas, like maybe rural areas, primary healthcare centers. And maybe that's the work you've been doing for a while. It could even be that you are working with a pharmaceutical drug distribution company somewhere in Nigeria, in rural northern Nigeria. So now you need to sell that thing you're doing, to the extreme in a way that it will align with what they want. And that involves telling stories. So good scholarship essays include storytelling. You need to tell very, very good stories that relate with that, because if you give facts, too much of facts, people turn off. People turn off from facts. Yes, by the time you give us 3 or 4 facts now, we are already dizzy.
You're tired.
And we don't want to hear. We have logged off. But if you tell us a story of one person that, because of the activity, your work you did, that person, maybe our life was saved, or maybe our child's life was saved or something. So now the problem is, people ask, I'm not doing anything special. What I'm doing is not making any impact. I don't feel, we tend to underrate ourselves. a lot.
Yeah.
You don't think that what you're doing is no, but we are living our daily life. It's how to eat people are looking for. So most people feel that their work is not of any importance. And because of that, once you say that, you underrate yourself, and then if you already think there's nothing to sell, then nobody's going to buy your story. But if you go out with that mindset of you are selling your story, and even if it's something basic, you think about how to sell it in a way that is, that is making impact, then people will buy your story. So we're not writing an essay here, but just like one story I would usually tell, because I'm a vet doctor, so a lot of the opportunities I apply for are related to my
Okay.
professional career. So I will usually tell a story about how growing up, my dad lost his job and he didn't get a job for like 10 years. And my mom became the breadwinner of the house, and she was keeping chickens in the house and goats and chicken in our backyard, And because of that, as the first son of the house, it was my job to take care of the goats and chicken. And of course, one day we woke up one morning and found out that our chickens, like 75% of them had died due to, there's this disease in Yoruba called yirun yirun. It's called,
Newcastle.
that's
That's
Newcastle
Newcastle.
disease.
Yes.
That's
Newcastle
yeah.
disease.
Mhm.
So just losing those birds in a family where our dad was not working with 6 children, it really was a big thing. And I never forgot that. So when I want to tell my stories like that, I can use that. That's one story I can tell. I have a number of stories I can tell about my life, So it's more like, if you want to apply for opportunities, not just scholarships, you need to begin to go back and tune into your life, take inventory of your life, and begin to record some stories that have happened in your life that you might find useful. Whether you are pitching for something, whether you're telling stories, whether you're applying for scholarships, you need to have a bank of all these stories and begin to use them in your daily life. Sometimes the first time you use it, it might not catch. But if you continue, one day,
Refining it.
if you polish it,
Yeah.
polish it, before you know, the story becomes very polished, and then it makes an impact. Those are some tips for scholarship application.
Yeah. I know one thing, I mean, to the last point that you made, one thing that might also help is talking to the people that you've known for a long time. So when I was writing my essays for my admission and scholarship, I remember talking to someone about these leadership things, like, okay, what are the other things that I could write? And they're like, guy, we used to keep the football in your room for everyone. Like, so every time you want to play, you're the one going to knock people's like, oh, let's go play. Like, you can write that as, okay, you coordinated for the entire male hostel at the University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, like, and that was what happened, right? So I'm knocking on everybody's door. Let's go play. So like keeping everybody fit, everybody engaged. So it's how you write the story that really matters, to your point, what you're saying. So, and we tend to ignore, we tend to overlook some of the things that we did, like, because I mean, we're not used to, our upbringing did not teach us to make a big deal out of everything, right? So you do something very huge, you just think it's not a big deal. And somebody will write, and even in the workplace, it happens. You do something, you just don't tell anybody about it. Or somebody else does something similar and they write an entire announcement, launch announcement about it, send it to the entire organization. And you're like, hey, is this a big deal? I thought this is just a normal thing. So we need to know how to also blow our trumpet, write the story, and
Yeah.
show the
Yeah.
impact clearly. Yeah, I mean, Yemi, I'll let you just
Yeah.
close if you have.
Interestingly, thank you so much, Dr. Yusuf. Like, just reflecting on the last story they just told us. Interestingly, that story, there's a lot packed into that story, as simple as it is. And I found out that you can demonstrate that you have a lot of leadership skills, a lot of soft skills when you tell stories, right? There's an element of leadership in what you just said, even sustainability that we are saying, like how you stepped forward to help your family. There's an element of ownership. So you can, why you might not even be conscious of it, but while you are telling those stories, you're actually saying a lot. All right. So that's one thing. Like everyone needs to like upskill, like build or develop storytelling skills. And I think that's one thing that has really, really, really worked for you. Thank you so much, Dr. Yusuf. On the last note, maybe you just give us like a parting shot. What will you tell your mentees out there? What will you tell dreamers, young people back in Africa, back all over the world that are aspiring to do great things?
Okay, so the first thing is if you're out there and you're having big dreams, I think the first thing you should know is that you're not alone. There are a lot of people, like minds, kindred spirits, scattered all over the world, rooting for you. And, that feeling of not being alone, like having a tribe, that feeling of having a tribe, I believe should inspire you to continue to push. And then the second thing would be that don't stop. I know it's cliche. A lot of people say it's overflogged, but it's true. It's very basic, but it's true. Don't stop. If you keep pushing, your dreams will come true. And we are all works in progress. We are all works in progress. And we believe that as long as we don't stop, as long as we keep pushing and giving our best every day, showing up, whether it's easy or hard, just keep showing up and not giving up. And hopefully everything will work out for good eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks so much for all the insightful conversation that I'm sure a lot of people will benefit from everything you shared there. And there are a few things that I also personally picked from this conversation also that should help me, like especially this last one. Just keep showing up whether it's hard or not. Like so that's coming to me at a time when I need to hear something like that. So absolutely. Yeah, thank you. So I'll just maybe if you could share your link, how people can find you on LinkedIn, and just to because I will share a lot of very useful information that people can also benefit from. Yeah.
Thank you. So on LinkedIn, I'm Yusuf Alimi. Yusuf YUSUF ALIMI Alimi. So if you just search for me, hopefully you see me. Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, they can match the face to the profile picture and they'll find you. All right. Thanks for joining us, Yemi. Do you have anything else to say before we call it a wrap?
Yeah, I mean that's all. My notes are fully loaded. Looking forward to maybe having another episode, in the future. But let's see how it goes. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Yusuf, for your time, and I wish you good luck. I wish you all the best in your endeavor as you break new grounds. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us, and looking forward to connecting with you again.
You too. Bye. I'm happy to be here.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And if you're watching, don't forget to, if you're watching on YouTube, Instagram, just follow us on all platforms, and we'll be bringing more, great people like him onto this show. And until the next time, bye bye.
All right. Bye.